Hello everyone, let's get started with the long and complex demo. In this video, I'll be solving stage 1 of the demo problem, which is about extracting links to individual US states by parsing the Wikipedia page about list of US states. Let me switch over to Google Chrome where I have the URL to the list of US states page open. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that we have this really large table which contains rows as individual states. Each of those rows is going to have a hyperlink to the corresponding state. Stage 1 is about parsing this large table in order to extract the hyperlink for the individual states. I have the Wisconsin state page open over here. Let me quickly talk about stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 2 is going to be about extracting this useful tabular information as part of individual state pages. For example, we can learn that the capital of Wisconsin is Madison, largest city is Milwaukee, governor is Tony Evers, and so on. We are going to parse each of the state HTML files in stage 2. And in stage 3, we are going to create a pandas data frame which will contain all of the state information. Let's learn a couple of things before we get started with stage 1. The first thing which I want to talk about is a file called robots.txt. Typically, when you type the domain name and then /robots.txt, that particular file is going to give you useful information which you need for the purpose of web crawling. It's going to tell you which HTTP requests will be allowed and which HTTP requests will be disallowed when it comes to this specific domain. It will be a good practice for you to go through robots.txt file before you start writing the Python program for specific web crawling. Another useful thing which I want to remind you all about is the developer tools. Recall that you can click on a specific part of the text within a specific website and right click and click on inspect in order to launch developer tools. You'll be able to use developer tools to poke around the HTML file format. For instance, we see a hyperlink tag here which has the resources /wiki/Alabama. Notice that the hyperlink tag is a subtag within the th tag. We haven't spoken about th. Th stands for table header. It just provides useful information about a specific row within the table. So the th tag is going to be within the tr tag. Recall that the tr tag also contains td tag. Td stands for table data. Tr stands for table row. TD tag will just store the details of that particular cell, which is going to be the short name of the state of Alabama, AL over here. Feel free to explore the other parts of this particular table by using the developer tools. Let me switch over to the template notebook file. We are going to get started by importing the required modules. The first module which I'm going to import is the request module, which will enable us to send the HTTP GET request to all of those URLs. The next module is going to be BS4. I'm going to type from BS4 import beautiful soup where B and S are capitalized. We'll be using beautiful soup module to go through the parsing part of the HTML file. I'm also going to import the OS module along with pandas module. Let me abbreviate that as PD over here. Stage 1 is about extracting all of the state URLs from the state page that we just covered. Let me go ahead and do a recap of the request module here for you. I have the URL as the Wikipedia page URL to the list of US states. Recall that you can send a HTTP GET request using the GET function within the request module by typing request.get and passing the argument as the URL string. You're going to get the return value as the response object, which I've captured into a variable called R. It is a good practice always to invoke the raise underscore for underscore status function using R to ensure that your HTTP GET request was successfully processed by reading that you're getting 200 OK status code response. This is a shortcut for writing the assert on your own. Let me go ahead and display r.text. Let's run this particular cell. Observe that you're getting this really huge text as part of r.text. Let me go ahead and comment out that particular print function call. Let's check out the type that we are getting from r.text. We can do that by invoking the type function call and passing r.text as argument. Recall that always r.text is going to have string type, and it's up to you to convert that into any appropriate types that you want. Since we are dealing with HTML file format here, we are going to retain the string type as such. Step number 5 in stage 1 is about creating beautiful soup object. Let me go ahead and do that by invoking beautiful soup constructor function call. The first argument is going to be the HTML content, which is going to come from r.text. The second argument is always going to be the string html.parser. Let me capture the return value into a variable called doc. First thing which I'm going to do is to call the prettify function using doc variable. Let me go ahead and run this cell. You're getting a decently prettified version of the web page, but it is still very complex. I'm going to go ahead and comment out this print function call over here. Feel free to explore the prettified version of the HTML file format to figure out details within that particular HTML file. Step number 7 within stage 1 is not a coding step. I have already spoken about clicking on individual elements in order to inspect that element using developer tools. Feel free to explore that more so that you're able to understand the format of the table that we want to parse in order to extract the individual state URLs. The next step is going to be about finding all table elements in the document, and we are going to use the find underscore all function for that. I'm going to type doc.find underscore all, and as an argument to the find underscore all function, I need to pass the name of the element, which is going to be string table here. Let's capture the return value into a variable called tables. The first thing which I'm going to do over here is to print the len of tables, and let's also print the type of tables variable here. Observe that we only have one table within the Wikipedia page for list of US states. It is still good idea for you to include an assert statement here, which is going to assert that len of tables equal to 1. Why do we have to do this? This is to ensure that if something changes with respect to format of that particular HTML page, your code here will let you know that a new table has been added in such a way that you'll be able to update your code to parse the appropriate table. Let's discuss the output of the type function call here. You're getting what is called as bs4.element.resultSet. All that you need to understand with this is that you're getting a list of beautiful soap objects. How can you extract the first item within this particular list? You can say tables of 0. Let me capture that into a variable called tbl, and I'm going to go ahead and print type of tbl, and I'm also going to print tbl here. Since we know there is only one entry within this particular tables list here, we can easily use indexing to extract that particular entry, and that's going to be the table that we are interested in over here. Observe that we are getting multiple print function call outputs, so I'm going to go ahead and comment out the earlier ones. What we are getting for the type function call is the bs4 element tag, which refers to individual element object instance within the DOM tree, and you're getting the display of the entire table HTML format here. Once again, I'm going to comment out this particular line of code. The next thing which I want to do is to extract the individual rows within the table. We are going to do that by typing tbl. That's going to be the variable which is storing the table document object instance. Recall that you can use that to invoke the find underscore all function in order to search for elements specifically within that particular element. So we want to extract all the table rows here because we want to eventually be able to iterate over the table rows to extract the hyperlinks. Let me capture the return value into a variable called trs, and I'm going to print len of trs. Let me also print type of trs. Along with that, I'm going to just display TRs as well. Let's execute this particular cell. Observe that we are getting 52 for length of TRs. This better be greater than 50 because we have 50 states within US. And the type here is going to be result set one more time because you are going to get a list of the document object instances which represent individual TR tags. And if we display the TRs, notice that you're getting a list because you have the open square bracket, and then every item within the list is going to be an individual TR tag. Let me go ahead and comment out this last print function call. Another good assert for you to add here would be to assert that len of TRs is greater than or equal to 50 to ensure that you have all the information that you need within that particular table. Let's continue stage 1 tasks. After having extracted all the table row tags, we are going to iterate over each table row. I'm going to do that by typing a for loop. My for loop variable is going to be tr because every iteration is going to iterate over a specific tr tags. So I'm going to say for tr in trs. What do I want to do? For now, let me just print tr just to verify that my for loop is working, which seems to be the case. Within each tr tag, we want to be able to find the table header tag, which is the th tag. I know that the table header tag is the one which contains the hyperlink, which is going to have the URL to the individual state pages. How can we find the table header tag? We'll have to look for the table header tag within each tr tag. So we are going to type tr dot, and I want to just find the first occurrence of table header tag. So I'm going to use the find function here instead of the find underscore all function. Recall that the find function returns an individual document object instance. So I'm going to capture that into a variable called th. Within each th, we want to be able to find the corresponding anchor element. Observe that the anchor element is a sub element here, and we are going to go ahead and find that by typing th.find, and we want to be able to find a over here. Let me store the result into a variable called links. Let's actually use the find underscore all function here. Let me go ahead and execute the print function call for displaying len of links, and let me also display the corresponding links over here. Observe that for certain iterations we are getting 2 links. If we look at the entries over here, you have the Massachusetts state. If I go back to the Wikipedia page which contains the really large table and look for Massachusetts, you'll notice that there are 2 links here. One is going to be the link to the Wikipedia page about the state, and the other one is something which is called as a citation, which provides just documentation for the source of information over here. We just want the first link. So we are going to go back to our code over here and do a couple of things. First of all, we need to eliminate all the iterations where we get 0 links. We are going to do that by writing an if condition over here, which is going to check that len of links is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, we just want to skip the iteration. So I'm going to use the continue keyword for that, which will enable us to go back to the beginning of the for loop for the next iteration. The next thing which I want to do is I want to extract the link information which is going to be inside the links list at index position 0. That's the useful link. The other one is going to be the additional citation information, which is not what we want here. An example would be the Pennsylvania state and the Massachusetts state. So I'm just going to say links of 0 to extract the very first link. Let me go ahead and display link. Let me also comment out the previous print function call. Notice that we are getting the required links. Once we get the anchor element tag, we are going to extract the href attribute within the anchor element tag along with the text of that particular anchor element tag. Recall that you can get the attribute value by typing in the variable which is storing the element and then .attrs. Let me go ahead and display link.attrs. Recall that that's a dictionary. That's because you're going to have the key value pair as the attribute name and the corresponding value. We want to be able to extract the value corresponding to the attribute href over here. I'm going to store that into a variable called state underscore URL. I'm going to go ahead and extract link.attrs of href over here, and let me go ahead and display state underscore URL by commenting out the previous print function call. Notice that you're getting part of the URL. What you want is the prefix here, which is https://simple.wikipedia.org. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and define a variable called prefix outside my for loop. This is going to be common for every single iteration of the for loop. Once we store the prefix information, I'm also going to create a dictionary called state underscore links in order to store the links to the individual states. What I'm going to do inside my for loop is I'm going to add prefix in front of the URL part which is about the individual state. So I'm going to say prefix plus the attribute value of the href that we just extracted. Instead of printing state URL, I want to be able to push the state name and the corresponding state URL as the key value pair inside my state underscore links dictionary over here. I'm going to do that by first of all extracting the name of the state. Recall that name of the state is going to come from the text within the hyperlink tag, which is going to be the A tag. So I'm going to say link.get underscore text over here. Let me go ahead and display state and state underscore URL. Notice that you're getting the state name and the corresponding entire URL. You can confirm that by clicking on one of the URLs, and that should load the corresponding state page. So we now have the key and the value. So we just need to say our dictionary variable name, which is going to be state underscore links here, and the key is going to be the name of the state, and the value is going to be the URL that we are going to store here. Let me go ahead and display state underscore links after executing this particular cell of code. Notice that we are getting the dictionary where we have the state names as the keys and the corresponding URLs as the values. I'll wrap up this video here. In the next video, we are going to go through stage 2, which is about parsing each of these HTML files for individual states.